Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Super 17 fight as a part of the Ultimate Red Zone GT Edition. So basically this fight consists of two phases. Pretty straightforward really in terms of the typings. The first phase being int and physical, and the final phase being strength. So I highly suggest that you bring out a heavy AGL team. Basically it's going to help you a lot the second phase, and you also need to be careful of your super attack typings, because you need to make sure that the super attack typings that you do have are not key orientated super attacks. So for example, Raccoon's attack, which is an eraser gun, is a key-based super attack, whereas Captain Ginyu's is a physical attack. Even though he fires a key blast, he initiates with a physical attack. The easiest way to tell is going to be to check your cards and see what little symbol is next to their super attacks. For example, if they fire a super attack that is a physical-based one, it will have a little fist next to it. If they have one that is, for example, a key blast, it will have a little key blast, and if it's indeterminable, it will have neither of them. So yeah, basically that's kind of how it's going to work. So yeah, ideally you want to bring a heavy AGL team, because the first phase, although quite challenging, is manageable. The second phase is very tough. Super 17 hits super duper hard, so he can hit very hard, basically. That can like take on this event, so he hits incredibly hard. Also in the first phase, both 17s I should say will be immune to stunning and sealing, immune to attack lowering, defense lowering, and both have a chance of evasion. I highly suggest you work on 117 at a time. Getting rid of them will lower your odds of catching double super attacks, which is always pretty nice, at least relatively speaking. Always really nice, and then obviously allows you to eliminate a unit that you maybe don't have a favorable type advantage matchup with. Then in the second phase, when you're facing the Super 17, he's also immune to stunning and sealing, attack lowering, defense lowering. He has a slightly less chance or lower chance of evasion than the two little 17s in the first phase. However, he absorbs key-based super attacks, so you don't want to hit him with any key-based super attacks at all. And you will see that I've kind of adjusted my team to reflect this. I've brought in the full power Freezer, mainly because both of his attacks are not key-based attacks, and also he's obviously got that AGL type matchup, which helps out a lot, especially when taking on someone like Super 17. So it is pretty important, I think, overall. If you do want to take on this stage, I highly suggest heavily AGL flavored teams. Like I said, that's going to be your best kind of functionality. Realistically speaking, it's going to be the absolute best situation for you. It's going to enable you to have type advantage across the board. You don't have any type disadvantage in the first phase, so there's no super big negative towards bringing AGL flavored units. And Super 17 can hit quite hard. I mean, he's going to hit units that have type advantage and have 300, 400 K damage at about 200, 300K. He's gonna hit them pretty hard. He can fire some pretty rough super attacks. He can hit really tough. And you really do need to kind of be, I want to say, prepared. Be prepped, carry that type advantage, let it help set you up, and it'll also help you do more damage. Doing more damage, clearing these phases faster does help out a lot. Something that, you know, even a team like the Ginyu Force, which has great synergy and has one of the best leaders in the game, one of its issues is it relies heavily on the AGL Ginyu for damage. And so you really do want to try and, you know, work around this. Now, a good, or at least a very nice understanding for this stage is the fact that you can evade. So evasion is a pretty good strategy here against Super 17. The ability to dodge his attacks is going to prevent quite a bit of damage that he's going to do. So it would be highly advised for you to kind of just, you know, obviously get some evasion going. When you can, try and transform Ginyu. I'm letting him stack for a little bit longer. You can see there, by the way, 40% damage reduction. And so, as you can see, quite intense. But Ginyu does some decent damage in return. And it's, yeah, he can just hit very hard. Raccoon here, if he doesn't get guard activated, he would take quite a bit of damage. Even with his, you know, 300 and something thousand defense. Frieza, who's, you know, got type advantage, is going to take damage with his, you know, 200 and something thousand defense. So Super 17 does hit really, really tough. And I think you need to be aware of that. Now, there are some really nice, I want to say, there are some really nice, like, units that can kind of cut through everything, which I think is really, really nice. Yeah, heavily AGL lineups, there's some very, very powerful units overall that are going to be quite helpful. And some of the pivotal ones are always really, really good. For example, Captain Ginyu is great because obviously he holds that type advantage. Cell is also really, really solid. A very top tier unit. He also, the AGL Cell, he also, I believe, does not have you know, armed super attacks. He does not fire super attacks that deal key damage, at least as far as I know. They all are, well, the second form Cell does, but the third form Cell, the perfect form Cell, he fires physical, so you will be more than fine with utilizing that Cell. He's obviously a great AGL option overall. So you can see that there is, you know, some of the top tier AGL units, generally speaking, have a really, really, like, you know, good number of units that can deal that physical damage, that can really help to control the fight and obviously get Super 17 down, because getting him down is a very big part of the process. Now obviously he does hit for quite a bit raw. Basically what you want to do is, if your units are not going to be able to take the heat from Super 17, you're going to rather want to stick them in a situation where they have evasion. Maybe they are going to be able to be a decent tanking option. It's very, very difficult to obviously say that, you know, every single unit is very good in this mode, because, you know, units can take damage. Raccoon takes 6k on a normal super attack when he is merely at the grand total of, you know, like 280,000 defense or something, or 300k or so. Captain Ginyu will take 120,000 on a super if he gets hit by it with 400k damage, 400k defense. It's very, you know, it's a very tough event. Super 17 can hit very hard. You want to avoid using active skills as well where possible. Generally speaking, active skills are going to get you into trouble more often than not. The main reason being, you know, is that the active skills will generally heal him for far too much. They're just going to push him way too high in terms of his, you know, in terms of his, like, healing and everything. You saw Raccoon healed him there for 400,000. That was off a 3 million super attack. Hitting him with something like a active skill that will do 11 million or so is going to heal him for almost 2 bars, and it's just going to make your time a lot more difficult. Dokkan attacks will not activate the nullification, but generally speaking, it's still not a good situation. So you want to obviously just prioritize doing what you can. Here you can see we're going to use the Dokkan attack to attempt to heal up. We're going to take, so Raccoon and Gildo have 300k or 400k defense with guard. They're going to get hit by his super attack here, and they are going to take, I think, oh, actually we evade, which is very, very solid actually. That level 5 silver evade coming in handy there. But yeah, so we're going to really feel the pinch, which is why having AGL types is so advantageous in this category. Ginyu, you can see, still doing damage even without activating his crits, which is obviously incredibly helpful. Frieza, he's going to do some decent damage as well. Frieza, by the way, 53k, pretty bad, basically. But it is, like I said, it's a very, very tough situation for a lot of units. It's, these events are very, very difficult for a lot of units. It's not, an event that's going to be conquerable by a lot of units. If you don't have one of the 200% leads that came out on global, Martian Vegeta, Android Cell Saga, there's very few other units that can. Maybe the Kid Buu, maybe the Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, those are very good options. The 6th year LRs are decent options in a lot of these stages. The Easy A Vegeta, a hybrid Saiyans team led with a Rainbow Tech Gohan. There's a lot of teams that need to be at their tip-top shape to take on these events, and it really is just sometimes a luck of the draw. There's plenty of times where I, for example, have done this event and failed events because my units just get supered. The Bojack event's a great example of this. You can start that event and have your very first unit get supered by all 4 enemies, and your attempt can be done. So it is very difficult from that perspective. All I can say is just keep trying, and just attempt every single day. Chances are you'll get one run where everything goes smoothly, and you'll think, wow, that wasn't really so bad. And that's generally kind of how it is. Sometimes you can get supreme luck and then everything runs perfectly smooth. Other times you can not get it and things don't run so well. You can see here, Raccoon and Gildo, just a fantastic tank, by the way. But yeah, so basically my suggestions for Super 17 is be careful with what unit you bring. Make sure they are using unarmed super attacks, so melee based super attacks. Make sure they're 200k, by the way. That was what I was referencing earlier. Make sure that you can bring a lot of strong units that are AGL types, and that preferably have around the 300k damage mark. Obviously damage reduction would be preferable. It would help you out quite a bit, and yeah, beyond that, I mean, you're just gonna have to try your very best, try and push through the events, and you should be more than fine. Just try and stick to those basic tendencies and you should have a decent time. Also, the main thing is be aware of your active skills, and also bring support items. Bring a support item that's going to heal you. Bring you something that brings something to your team at a time when you need it. Like, for example, the Ginyu team is great, but it does need a little bit of setup. It needs a little bit of time. And that's it, pretty much. Basically, it's all very, very, very straightforward. So, yeah. But we managed to get the win very, very, very well. Was quite challenging. Wasn't the most challenging, but was quite challenging. Obviously, the Ginyu Force has a pretty good advantage with Captain Ginyu. Being AGL type, he's very suitable to tank and take on this event. But yeah, so that's pretty much going to be it from me. I'll probably see you guys in the next one. And yeah, we'll see how everything goes. But thank you so much for watching. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. I always do appreciate it. And if you need any help with team building or a suggestion or any ideas, then you are welcome. to give me a shout. And yeah, but otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.